Lincoln Journal, which is a publication in West Virginia, took a voicemail that was left by one of their readers and they transcribed it for their newspaper. And basically the transcription indicates that some of their readers are extremely racist and they're bigots, and it was in response to a story they did about the Lincoln County Board of Education terminating a lesbian teacher. And what this one bigot had to say about that is the following. He said, and it's an anonymous person, so we don't know what his identity is, but he said, "We're really glad to hear that school board is getting rid of them queers. The next thing we need to do is get rid of the niggers, the spics, the kikes, and the wops." By the way, I had absolutely no idea what wops were until
Isn't that a type of mop or something? What is a wop? What is a wop?
It's supposed to be without papers.
Really?
That's what WAP means. Ugh. Yeah, it's despicable. So the question is, was it right for this publication to publish this hateful voicemail that was left on their machine?
Well, first of all, I think it's interesting, and I kind of want to credit you for actually reading the N-word there, like the actual word, because I think, Don Lemon has talked about this on CNN, that if we always say the N-word, and it's not my place to tell anyone how to speak related to that, of course, and it's a dicey situation, but if when you're reporting on it, you actually are saying the N-word, then you're further sanitizing it, and then we get further away from the truth. So I think that what you just did was good, just on its face.
Thank you.
Can I just read this other quote from the guy before we go further?
Yes, go ahead.
He goes, even Catholics, they are as wrong as baby eaters. We need to clear them people out and have a good, white, God-fearing Christians and everybody else to be put to death for their abominations. Who's left? You know what I mean? Like, who's left? Who is this guy? What other groups are left?
He is the most miserable human being on the planet. He is. I feel like being hateful takes so much energy, and to sit around and just hate on the gay community, on minorities, on other religions. Who freaking cares? They have absolutely no impact on your life. Move the hell on.
You know what? I'm okay with the haters. I just want them to stop doing it anonymously. Stop calling in anonymous things. Stop putting the white sheet over your head. Stop, creating fake Google accounts. Put it out there. You're so proud of who you are. Everybody's so wrong. Come on, let's go. Let's see who you are, and then have a real debate.
Yeah, so apparently there were people who wrote into the publication and they showed their support for what the voicemail or the caller had said. One person says, "We'll keep Lincoln County white and right, thank you."
Who would want to live in an all-white county? Doesn't that sound like the worst? What kind of club would they have there? It would be a nightmare.
I don't know. It would...
but Steve liked that one.
I gotta clarify something. That was more of what the voicemail said. That wasn't another person. However, there were people who showed support for what the caller had said, but of course other callers were really upset about it, and they're just like, why would you guys publish that? So what do you think? Do you think that they should have published it?
I think that, probably they should have, because let's get this stuff out there. Not talking about it doesn't do anything. Actually, that just ferments more hate. Mm-hmm. So put it out there. We can talk about it. Hopefully people, you have to unmask this stuff. You really just can't just hide it. And it's crazy. Like, the more of this stuff you show, the crazier it exposes itself to be. So I think you got to do it.
Yeah, and I think that you should definitely shine a bright light on hateful people, because I think that a lot of individuals are under the assumption that we've kind of solved a lot of problems that we haven't solved yet, racism being one of them. Racism is still a huge problem in the country. It's not as overt as it used to be. It's a little more on the down low. I mean, we have institutional racism, and exposing people that are this hateful is an important thing to do.
Yeah. The only problem I see with this is sort of like, I read something interesting about how somebody in one of these gay message boards was saying how if every time someone comes out and you write an article about how great it is that their parents accepted them, it makes it seem like we haven't moved forward since 1950, while there's so many great parents out there who are completely fine and proud and wonderful. So sometimes when you shine a light on this stuff, it maybe makes it seem like it's a bigger problem than it is. I don't think in the case of racism that's true, but there is a bit of a fine line there.
No, you make a great point. I mean, I kind of get annoyed with the extensive news coverage of celebrities coming out. And I kind of want to get to a point where everyone is just going to be like, okay, and just move on, you know.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, you know, for a lot of people, it's still a big deal, and you know, there's still great strides to make within the gay community. But
trust me, when I go back in the closet, that's going to be on the cover of People magazine. That's going to be the first time ever.
Dave Rubin,
Back in. Right there.